And wonderful to see that. I hope to attend myself one day and get a little flavor of what Europe has to offer during the Christmas season. Now, cut number 4, Mr. Alan Dershowitz, the famed attorney, the person that has said Senator Ted Cruz was his smartest and best student when he taught him at Harvard
close to starting
University.
here, guys.
Someone who was on hand for the
exciting stuff. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Good to see you all. Of course, as always, welcome to the show. We're going to be having Trump come up here really soon. I think he starts in 10 minutes. So the word is he's going to be going over his accomplishments of the last year and what's going forward. Of course, all the people are wondering, is he going to do something wilder? Is he going to break some new ground or give us something exciting? So who knows what to expect? Obviously, we got some wild news today before he goes on. Dan Bongino is stepping down. It is official. He's doing so of his own accord. It's no firing or anything like that. He's fulfilling his year by going out in January. And, I have a theory on that this is, they want this because now he's got a year on the inside and he can go back to podcasting and saying what he wants to say as an outsider who was on the inside. So we're going to find out what that means for Dan. I'm very excited to see what this goes. Getting some people saying, hey, this is proof the FBI cannot be purged. I disagree. I think Kash has always been the one in charge. He seems to have a firm handle on it all. And Dan, I have a feeling, was always temporary. And the reason I believe that is because, well, Dan gave up a lot of money to do what he's doing. And he's also a family man who is separated from his family this entire time. So I have a feeling Dan came in to, hit the ground running. And from there, get out and see what he could see. He got the J6 bomber, so he went out on a high, and obviously they got a lot of other stuff going on. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out, especially once he starts his show again. So we'll see how that goes. But waiting for Trump, 8 minutes to go. If you like this show, if you're excited to be here, please hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you for doing so. If you are on X watching, and I see there's quite a few of you, listen, I cannot see your comments until later, but they don't come up during the live stream. But please, if you wouldn't mind, hit that repost button. I would greatly appreciate you sharing this. So let me pull this up in the background, and we will await Trump here on silence. Let me minimize this a little bit. That's pretty big. I don't know why. I guess it's fine. It'll go full screen. I'll go full screen when Trump comes on. Let me say hey to some people up in here while we're waiting. Who came in first tonight? What's going on? Moody Waters, 31 months of membership. That's almost 3 years, Moody. Thank you so much for your support. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. R. Will, what's going on? Kim Wiley, how's it going? Frank Anastasio, Nick Majors in the house. Marco Sanchez, Barefoot DC, Alan Agajanian, FGC, what's up? 5-star, Walkowitz, Stony Bones, RB Davis, what's up? Steve Bernard, 5-star. I think I already said use 5-star. What's up, buddy? Michael Boyle, what's going on? JC Cool, Candace Morrison, White Rabbit, what's going on? Nick Majors. You guys feel free to hit up the chat as much as you want. I will respond if there's any breaks. Knowing Trump, there won't be a break till the end. But we'll go over his speech. At the end, I'm going to let him run uninterrupted. Obviously, I don't want to interrupt Trump, our commander-in-chief, our president. I want to let him talk. AZ Tropic, what's going on over there in Rumble, buddy? Hey, but put all your stuff in the chat if you have any questions, comments, and at the end, we're going to do a full breakdown, depending on how big this is. Now, this is unlike Trump. He hasn't done stuff like this before where he's just speaking to the people without it being an official thing like State of the Union. I mean, he's always speaking to the press, but this is direct to the people. Now, this reminds me, and I kind of hope he keeps this up, of fireside chats like with Roosevelt. And I've always hoped Trump would start going to the people more. He is so good with the people. We saw it at the other day when he was at the rally. He's just a different person when he's directly speaking to the people. He gets more popular. That's where he's most likable. You know, the reason, along with all the psyops going on, that his approval's been suffering lately, it's very little to do with him, actually. It has to do with the Republicans holding up a lot of stuff Trump wants to get done, which we talk about all the time. And the other thing is that Trump has been so busy, he's not going straight to the people enough. And so we're looking forward to him going right to the people. This is where Trump is at his best. It's where he maintains his popularity, where he gets his momentum the most. And this is hopefully something that becomes more regular during the rest of the year, especially leading up to the midterms. If Trump goes on fire like this and on full offense like this, he will be unstoppable, and we'll get this going on. So we obviously, there's a lot of us hoping for some big. Those of us who have been following this for a long time, the behind the scenes stuff, maybe some of the well, I don't know how else to say it, conspiracy stuff that's mostly come true. Can't help but notice he's doing this on the 17th, which is very, very interesting. So anyways, they're starting to show the White House, which tells me they're probably getting ready. But yeah, I'm excited. I am. I do want to temper expectations. This might just be a very simple Trump speech, getting his message out to the people ahead of the State of the Union, ahead of the end of the year. So don't get your hopes up sky high. But at the same time, a lot of times when Trump speaks like this, he drops stuff that it might not be so obvious until you've actually gone back over it. Trump is a master communicator. I know a lot of people say he's stupid or the way he talks is dumb, whatever. But the truth is he's actually a master communicator. And you have to just listen to him carefully. And if you follow him, and over time, you start to really understand why he speaks the way he does, why he uses certain phrases, why he brings stuff up the way he does. So just letting you guys know, there's always something to what Trump says. He doesn't just, I mean, he goes off the cuff when he's talking about people or he's asked questions, but when he's bringing a message, he has a reason for why he's speaking. So we will break it down at the end. But I'm excited to be here, guys. This is fun. We haven't had a good live event to follow in a while. So I am excited to have this. Obviously, we'll be back here in a couple of months for the State of the Union and whatever else comes up. But Merry Christmas. What's up? Yeah, Heidi. Dan Bongino's going back to his podcast. But you know what? Listen, I know it feels like a big deal because Dan Bongino's a big name, but just remember that the position Dan Bongino held was a no-name position. We've never known anybody in that position before. So it's not like Dan was part of the cabinet. It's not like he was a really big deal in our government. It's not like he had one of the main roles. He was literally an assistant to Kash Patel. So put it in context and just realize that it's not like he's stepping down from being a cabinet secretary or for being director of the FBI. He's stepping down from a very unheralded position with, not much reward to it, not much future to it, and so whatever Dan got done, he feels like he got done in his time. He's leaving on his own volition. He's not being pushed out, and he might, after a year in the Trump administration, he actually might be more valuable to MAGA now going back on the podcast. As now going back on the podcast, he's going to be able to say, hey, I was on the inside. Let me tell you what's going on. And that's actually going to be extremely valuable because Dan reached millions of people. So I'm very excited to have him back. I think it honestly will actually be better. So just think of it like that, and it starts to make more sense. And it might have been a plan. They might have actually sat him down and been like, you know what, Dan, what if we did this? So we can't, there's always noise, okay? There's always noise. And they're always trying to convince us that all the Trump people hate each other. They're frustrated, but it's just not true. So we've been seeing that over and over again. So don't worry about it. Oh yeah, we got you Bears coming up 2 weeks, baby. I'm not scared. You guys might beat us, isn't it, in Chicago? So, you know what? If it's a close game, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll beat you in the playoffs if we play you again. Caleb Williams won't be ready for the playoffs. But, and we're on a win streak. So if you guys win, you win. Great. I don't think I'm not worried about it. I'm on house money with the Niners this year, baby. House money. We're 10-4 with the most injured roster, our second most injured roster now in the league over the course of the year. Way more injuries than you guys. Some Bears fans have been like, we've been injured too. Not even close to the Niners. Don't even get me started. We're still missing our 3 best defensive players. And they're out for the year. So there's that. So don't even get me started. But yeah, that'll be fun. Let's see. Anything else I can get to before he starts? Vince says, gotta think it's more than his accomplishments. I know it'll be more. The question is what and how exciting. Let's see. Anybody else right now? No, everybody's just waiting. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. I like that, Crypto. I like that. That's funny. Anyways, while you're watching, guys, if you don't mind, hit that like, hit that subscribe, take a second. I appreciate you for joining me on X. Welcome to the show. I see quite a few of you jumping on. That is awesome. Thanks for supporting this. If you don't mind hitting that like, maybe hit me a follow, but definitely please repost, because if you repost, that way we get this out there. I think we got something special about to happen. I hope. You never know. But I'll just say Trump has never done this before. Where as president, during COVID, he had the regular check. Oh, okay. Sorry. We're going to get going.
Go live to the White House. President Donald Trump in a primetime address.
Here we go, guys.
11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that If they build in America, there are no tariffs. And that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Okay. That was very abrupt. Interesting. All right. Wow. So obviously, I was expecting that to go much longer. Trump's usually long-winded, goes 60, 90 minutes. Did you guys notice how fast he was going through that? I wonder, makes me wonder if he's got aides who have been telling him he needs to get a message out and tell everybody what he's done. So I'm not gonna lie, a little disappointed. Yeah, not gonna lie, that was a little disappointing. A couple of polls I just want to talk about that I ran during it. So, is gas cheaper where you're at? 86% of people said yes, so that's pretty cool. It's only 29 votes, but 86% of people said yes, so awesome there. And then on the wage increases, the poll's still going, but as of right now, 45% of people said yes, their wages have gone up, 32% unchanged, and 23% said their wages have not gone up. So I'm guessing lower on that one. So, an average, it's 4% is what the average is of wage increases this year adjusted for inflation. So Trump's not lying about that, but an average is an average. So it does mean it's not affecting everybody yet. Obviously, what I've been telling you guys is that the next year is where we should really see economic booming, or at least major growth, because the tax cuts are going into effect first of the year, which means people won't be paying their overtime. Tax on tips they'll have a lot of break from, but also the child tax credit's gone up, which will affect millions of people. There was the tax cuts were locked in, but they were also, your deductions went up, so on and so forth, adjusted for inflation. So I actually just ran a simulation on my taxes this year, what to expect, and I will definitely, it's going to be a better year for me tax-wise. So I can say that 100% his tax cuts are going to affect the middle class, because I am middle class. And so yeah, that's gonna pump the economy. We're gonna see the deregulations continuing to have major effects come into 2026. Also, we're gonna finally see some of this manufacturing money coming back into the states. So again, what Trump said, he's right on everything, but I gotta say, I was really hoping to see more. I thought he was really going to paint a picture for what's coming. That was the word on the street. He really barely touched upon it. I did think that there were some very strong points. I thought he did an excellent job in the beginning, painting the picture of how bad things had gotten under Biden, which is actually very important. People seem to forget because they get stuck in the now. And, it's very important to remember how we got to this place. This terrible place we're in, where things are so expensive, especially with housing and food, the most important things. Thank God energy is going down. Eventually that will have an effect on the rest of the economy. Yes, some goods will go up because of tariffs, but it'll be a one-time hit and then they will stop. But the good news is when you factor in housing will start going down. In fact, it already is stagnating. Housing is, and it's going to continue to go down because of the deportations. And then you get, which is having a major effect, 2.5 million illegals deported so far and other immigrants. The H-1Bs are going down. So we're seeing a lot of this start to play out. Now, I want everybody to remember that it does take 18 to 24 months for economic policies to fully take shape and impact the economy. We have the biggest economy in the world history. Okay. That takes time. That doesn't just turn around in 3 months. So a lot of people have been frustrated with Trump, but listen, the main people you should be frustrated with is Congress, because they're the ones slowing down Trump at every opportunity. He still hasn't gotten nominees through for judges. They're holding up a bunch of judges, especially in blue states, because of this stupid blue slips rule they have. They won't break the filibuster, which so he can't get his voting stuff through. They can't fix health care without it breaking the filibuster with 60 plus votes. I mean, Congress, the Republicans are spineless, and they're the real enemy. Trump is actually doing a lot of good stuff. They did just get the pay increase for the military. Now, there's a bad side of that, which the Republicans just passed with Democratic help. They just passed the military bill, and it's veto proof. They passed it with 77 votes. You only need 66 votes to be veto proof. So when people get mad that Trump signs this bill, just remember he has no choice. He's not a king, despite what the Democrats will tell you. He's not a king. Congress passed this bill. It's going through. Yes, there's pay raises for the military. Yes, there's good stuff in the bill. But there's also several $100 million going back to Ukraine. Congress passed this, remember? So again, when I say that, I know a lot of people get mad. That's not Trump's fault. It's veto proof majority that passed it, 77 votes. So that's the Republicans. Be mad at them. $800 million is going to Ukraine. The Congress has blocked Trump from pulling troops out of Europe that were stationed there. They were going to start trying to draw down. So just remember how much, how corrupt, how utterly corrupt Congress is when you see this stuff go through. But yes, there's a pay raise going through for the military. Some other things going on as well. Listen, inflation has significantly slowed down. It hasn't stopped yet, but that takes a while to fully work through the cycle. We've seen the trade deficit go down by half, by $600 billion. So Trump is doing a lot. And so it is important. He does a speech. Not everybody is as like politically minded as we are watching this kind of stuff all the time. You guys who watch my show, not everybody is political nerds like we are. They don't know what's going on. So this was an important speech, but let me know in the chat, guys, what you guys thought. And then I'm going to cover some other news stuff I've been seeing, and we'll continue talking about this if you want to. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you watching. If you're on X or Rumble, follow. I would greatly appreciate the follow. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Hit that like. If you're on X, if you wouldn't mind reposting, I also appreciate that as well. So thank you guys for checking in. But yes, again, let me know in the chat if you're in Rumble or YouTube what you thought. We obviously, there's a lot of us wanting more action in certain areas, especially in the justice area. And I also see a lot of people saying, markets. We want markets fixed. And I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. There's a problem, though, with that. Trump cannot be the catalyst for breaking the markets. He can't. If he is, it will crush his presidency and it will crush the midterms. So he can't be the catalyst. If Trump started going after all the short sellers right now, tearing down hedge funds, if he made a decree and all of a sudden started cleaning that up, it would crash the markets. You got to remember, the markets are a house of cards. They're built on corruption. You remove the corruption, they collapse. The market has to have a correction. And once it does, that opens up the door. This is my theory, and it makes perfect sense. So again, there are certain things he just can't do yet. Imagine if he just started arresting everybody. Well, with this Republican Congress as we have it right now, he'd likely be impeached. So everything has to be done in process. I know that we voted for Trump. I know that we got him in. We have a million things on our wish list we want to see. We want change now. But guys, it took us decades to get here. Okay? If you trace it back to what I do, 1913, it took us 100 plus years to get to where we're at. That doesn't get undone in a few months. You can't just undo all the issues we've got in a few months. It takes time. We don't live in an autocracy. We don't have a monarch. We have a republic, which 3 branches of government co-equal. Congress has to be purged. It has to be pressured to move on stuff, and that takes time. That's just the way it is. And so the checks and balances, Trump can't do everything he wants to do. He just can't. Now, we've already seen they're going after certain people. We just saw more indictments come out for Bolton. They're going to bring back up the Comey stuff. They're going back after Letitia James. It's going to keep building. We're going to get more of the election stuff coming out from 2020. The Operation Hurricane stuff is still going to be leaked. The Epstein stuff should be coming out on Friday. All of that, guys. All of that matters. And it all will build up over time. I've told you guys with the Epstein stuff that the Democrats are going to greatly regret that they pushed it. And that Trump finally went along with it at the end because he knew it was going to happen the whole time. So he rug pulled them because they all thought they were going to never get it through the Senate. They didn't think they were going to have to face it. Do you notice? And listen, one of the ways you can tell I'm right on this is that since they passed it, the Democrats have gone silent. They had that little leak. They released a few pictures last week, which those pictures have been out for 15 years, but they released them cutting out the faces looking like this was some like new thing. Nope. They're just playing games. They're playing those media games that they play, but there's a reason they're not hounding. If they knew Trump was in the Epstein files and if they knew it was good for them, they would be every day in the media, every day in the news saying, we passed this. Why haven't we seen it yet? What's taking you so long? What is Trump hiding from us? That's what they would be pounding that drum. But as soon as he signed it, silence. That's how you know they know it's worse for them. So, okay, let me see what's going on in the chat over here. All I want for Chris is a new attorney general. You know, I'm telling you guys, there's something else going on with Pam. Listen to this. I heard this the other day. And I think there's something to this. You guys understand that if Trump arrests these people and they go to D.C. for their trials, which is where most of them would go based on what we want them to be arrested for, they will be let off immediately. They will get a friendly jury. Washington, D.C. is 93% Democrat and not moderate fun Democrats. We're like, with some logic in their brains. No, we're talking hardcore leftist Democrats, want to rule the world Democrats, 93%. There's no way you get those people through trial in DC. But Bondi is Attorney General. She was Attorney General in Florida. And where have they been trying to get some of these grand juries? In Florida. Why are they pushing the Mar-a-Lago thing so much? Because once they went to Mar-a-Lago for all that stuff, it gave them jurisdiction in Florida. Pam Bondi has all the connections in Florida. I'm telling you guys, there's more going on behind the scenes than we know. Trump, in this first term, fired multiple attorney generals. Sessions, Barr, he got rid of them. Barr was there a while, but he still got rid of them. And then completely turned on them. Bondi would be gone by now if she wasn't doing what Trump wanted her to do. Again, don't let all don't let impatience blind you from what has to happen. We live in a slow process system. These things take time. But I get it. I understand the frustration, but you know, we can't be children. We can't just scream and cry that we're not getting what we want. We have to understand everything takes time. Trump's already accomplished more in his first year than any other president in history. That's not hyperbole. Go through and look at every other president in history and compare how much they got done. The One Big Beautiful Bill was one of the biggest pieces of legislation in world history. Not world history, in U.S. history. Literally changed the face of our economy over time. It will. Then you get the tariffs, which I'm actually hugely in favor of. We're still going to see the results on that, but I actually really believe we're going to see massive results from that as that money starts pouring in and as things start stabilizing. It was a shock at first, but it'll stabilize and be better for us. The middle class has a chance to breathe again. Obviously, the tax cuts, obviously the deportations. We have negative immigration for the first time in 50, 60 years. I mean, come on. Trump inherited the worst economy we've had. You could go back to 2008, and that's fine. 2008 was terrible. It really was. But the slow burn death spiral of this economy hasn't been seen since the 70s with the inflation and everything. 2008 was more of the shock, gather yourself, figure stuff out. But there was also a lot of opportunity in 2008 because assets got so cheap. This economy, this slow burn death spiral economy, there's been no opportunity because housing just kept getting more and more expensive. Assets kept getting more and more expensive. So completely different. Completely different. So factor all that in, everything he's done. And guys, I got to say, I mean, yes, it's okay. Like I said, I was disappointed in the speech, but I understand why he did it. I do. I wanted more, just like you guys want more. But again, this is important. And if you guys get it, if you're somebody who gets it, if you're somebody who watches Trump, has been following Trump, and actually understands how much he's been getting done, this is something to show to somebody who doesn't follow, who doesn't really understand what's going on. You can give them this. And actually, Trump, who usually goes like 90 minutes, you can give him this thing that's 20 minutes long and say, just listen to what he did this first year. And all of it can be backed up. So, it has an effectiveness to it. He commanded the attention of the nation tonight, and it's just clear that all of us wanted this speech to be for us, but it wasn't. This speech was for the people who don't usually pay attention. But he commanded the nation's attention tonight, and I believe that will yield some dividends. But hey, we got all next week. We got Christmas. The Venezuela stuff's getting very interesting. Trump is making it clear, like they're planning on completely redoing Venezuela. It's going to get really crazy over here. Nick Majors agrees it takes time. David, I don't even know what your other account is, man. You'd have to send it to me, and then I'd have to see if I could find it. C-Rob, why do we think felt he needed to give a speech to summarize the last 11 months? Trump has a reason for everything. 100%. Absolutely. You wonder if the veteran VA will get the 1776? Good question, Alan. That's something we'll have to look into. Yeah, absolutely. David, I will get you unbanned if I can find your account. I just don't know what it is. Okay, I wanted to show you a couple things here that got my attention. But first, I want to check a couple things real quick. Because I know there's going to be some interesting responses here. Let me just see what's going on. If anybody's put up anything interesting real quick. I was planning on a much larger, to be honest with you, a much longer speech. So I didn't have my regular news stuff pulled up. So Vince says 800 million going to Ukraine will not help inflation. Vince, our economy is so large that 800 million, it won't impact inflation at all. You got to remember, we didn't get inflation until they printed about $6 trillion during COVID, or maybe it was 9 trillion. That's what triggered our inflation. 800 million. That's like, I hate to say it because 800 million obviously would change all of our lives for good. We could bring 800 million just to this. Everybody watching this right now could split up the 800 million. We'd all be set for life. That's a crap ton of money. But to the U.S. government, that's like going in, that's like in your car finding, a handful of change. That's what 800 million is to our economy as a whole. So yeah, it won't affect inflation at all. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but it's unfortunately the truth. White House just posted this, which is really interesting to see. So, and this shows you that they're backing up what they say, what Trump released tonight. But you see Biden price increases and the Trump price decreases, which is interesting because this is 4 years of Biden versus 1 year of Trump. So it's kind of amazing. You got hotel rates under Biden, 37.4% up since Trump in 1 year, less than 1 year, down 5%. Propane, basically 25% up under Biden, down 4%. New and used cars up 22%, down 0.5%. Now that's going to change a lot in the next 2 years. And let me tell you, The next fleet that comes in, so not this current year's fleet, but the next fleet that follows it should be significantly cheaper. And it's because they just rolled back the stupid standards that Biden put in place that was going on the cars. Do you know, listen, does anybody first of all, does anybody have one of those cars that every time you stop, it stops and like it has to restart? I refuse to own one of those. That's why I haven't bought a new car in 5 years, but I won't drive one of those. I hate that. But the reason that's there is because of the standards put in under the Biden administration that were carried over from the Obama administration. They revived them. That made it so like you have to hit a certain amount of gas mileage per hour or per gas per miles per gallon. There it is. It came to me finally. But yeah, I know some people can turn it off, but it's like it's automated in most places and you have to kind of know how to do it or whatever. It's the stupidest thing ever. That's also extremely hard on your engine. So you're getting a worse car and it's also much more expensive. Plus there's all kinds of other stuff they have in there. It's the reason trucks have become giant tanks, because the only way they could build the trucks to the good standards they're used to is to make them so big they could go above the weight limit standard. So we're going to get past all that, and all that's going to open up ingenuity again in the car market. It's going to open up the ability to make cheaper vehicles because all of a sudden gas is cool again. So this will go significantly cheaper over the next couple of years. In fact, I want to be surprised if in 2 years new cars are 10 to 15% cheaper, maybe even more. So that's massive. You guys want to talk about deflation? Well, imported goods will get higher and remain a little higher going forward, but everything major that matters the most for your life, cars, housing, energy, food, going on a trip, vacation with hotels and everything, services, all of that makes the stuff that actually makes life better, not the dollar store crap that we buy because we're all depressed and we can't afford anything. So we go buy junk just to say like we shopped. All that stuff will be gone. I'm sorry. You won't be able to buy your crap anymore. Like all of us have too much stuff anyways, right? The vast majority of us. If you're someone who's really struggling, and I am sorry for that, but the vast majority of us have way too much crap. Cheap crap we don't use. And we buy it once and it goes away or it breaks. But all that will be gone. Okay. So we'll lose that. Or it'll get a little bit more expensive, about 50% more expensive. But all of a sudden we're going to have a better life. I mean, would you rather own an affordable house, or would you rather rent a crappy house that you can barely get, pay huge energy bills, but still be able to go to Dollar Tree? I mean, you tell me what you'd rather have. I have a friend who hates the tariffs because he's an importer of glasses. And I get it. For his business, tariffs suck. I do feel bad for the guy. He hates it. He hates Trump for the tariffs because it's impacting his business. And I get that. But whenever he complains to me, I'm looking at him like, dude, I buy glasses like once every 3 years. Do I really care if the glasses are going to be 20% more expensive? I don't care at all. But what I do care is that every day when I fill up my gas tank, it's 20% cheaper. What I do care is that I'm going to be able to afford a better house soon. What I do care is my wages are going up. What I do care is that as gas gets cheaper and cheaper, food's going to get cheaper and cheaper. I care about that. So I will pay the extra $25 on my glasses in 3 years because I'll be saving thousands of dollars every year because of the other price decreases that are going to happen because of Trump. So that's how you look at it. And that's the best way to understand tariffs as far as how it'll impact your life. So yeah, your 75-inch screen, flat screen TV at Walmart is no longer going to be $500. It's going to be $575. But everything else in your life will be cheaper. But, most of us are only going to buy that flat screen every 10 years. So it really doesn't happen too much. Please Don't Laugh says he can't say economy's ready to explode and hold Wall Street accountable and risk a market crash. 100%. Well, it's not just that. Please Don't Laugh. It's more than that. It's that he can't go after them when the market's high, because then it looks like he's intentionally crashing the market. Think of all the people with 401ks who don't pay attention to any of this stuff. And all they'll know is that, wait, what did Trump do? Why all of a sudden is my 401k down 20%? What the heck, Trump? You're ruining my life. But if Trump waits till they go through their own correction, which is coming, I truly believe that. If he waits for that and it goes down, and then Trump can say, we caught these guys. They busted the stock market. They cost you 20% of your 401k. We're going to send them to prison and reform the system. If he does that, he's a hero. And I hate to tell you guys, but if you want real change, you have to play the slow game in politics. This change, if we want everything we want to hope for, it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 10 years. And I'll tell you right now, if Trump even got done all of it, well, and then somehow we lost 2028 because he's so unpopular, he drags down JD Vance because he smashed and grabbed so fast, he turned all the people against him because it was so shocking to the system. Well, then they'll bring it all back. So you have to play it right. Because remember, the people actually do dictate the nation. I know we all like the corruption and stuff. It impacts us. We're like, we didn't vote for that guy. I get it. But here's the point. If the people are enough, if we are the majority, if we are engaged, they can't stop us. They are not omnipotent. They are not all powerful. The people always will win. Look at all the nations throughout history that were dictatorships and autocracies and communist governments, and the people overcame them eventually. They got fed up. They know that. It's Bug's life. You know, if the ants realized how many of them there were against the grasshoppers, we'd win. Well, Trump knows he has to keep the people on his side. So he has to slow roll a lot of this stuff or do it behind the scenes. And so everybody's like, do this, do this, do this. You don't understand how much that would hurt him as president. You'd be cheering, but for every one of you paying attention, there's 100 people not paying attention who voted for Trump, who all of a sudden would be like, whoa, I didn't vote for this. And then we don't get JD Vance next. We have to get Trump, stay with him, give him the time to do this. He's got 4 years. He's got 3+ years still left. And then we have to get JD Vance in. There's literally no one else in the Republican Party right now who I trust. Maybe Marco Rubio, but I still don't completely trust Marco because he used to be a neocon. But I will say he's been doing an incredible job. But it's got to be JD. And we then get JD for 4 years, and that builds on it, and we get more and more momentum, and we get deeper and deeper and clear out more corruption, clear out Congress more. And then we get another 4 years of Vance. And it just keeps building. And all of a sudden, guys, within a decade, within 3 terms of presidency, our nation's completely back. It's slow. I know everybody wants it right now. I do too. Trust me. I don't want to be here every night having to complain, having to show you guys what's going on and how I understand it so that, we all don't lose hope. I get it. I'm very optimistic. I feel like I got a grasp on Trump. And so I'm not worried at all. But you know what? Some nights I don't want to show up. Some nights I want to go, just watch a movie with my kids. That's what I want to do. But I'm here every night because the job has to get done. And I'm fighting for their future. And this little show I run, I'm so blessed by the hundreds of you who watch me, not thousands. Notice I didn't say thousands. No, the hundreds of you people who watch me. I'm so blessed by you guys, and I'm so grateful that you give me the time because I do work hard at this. But it's the little stuff. I'm just going to keep showing up. And if I impact 5 lives, if I help 10 people hold on and get involved and not lose hope and see this through till we win, because we are going to win, then it's all worth it. I do it for 10 people. I do it for 5. It's all worth it. But so it's not about anything bigger than that. But I don't always want to show up, but I have to, because it's not just about you guys, it's about my kids. This will take time. So everybody buckle up, slow down, and trust the guy who is in charge, who we voted for. We gave him our trust when we voted for him. We said, we're giving you 4 years. Let's give him the full 4 instead of 9 months. Give him the full 4 and then reevaluate after that. I know that's what I'm doing. I'm trusting the guy. He knows way more than we do. He's privy to way more information than we'll ever know. He took a bullet for us. I mean, come on. To me, it's a no-brainer. So I get people get frustrated, but come on, let's think this through. Q Alert says just moved and downsized through 80% out to the trash or sold. Good for you, man. That's incredible. Listen, if you don't mind my rambling, if you like what you're hearing, please hit that like. I really appreciate that. Help the algorithms notice me. Hit that subscribe or follow. I'd love to have you guys. You're following me. And hit that repost or share this. If you're on X, repost. If you're somewhere else, share it. Share it with a friend. Text it to somebody. I appreciate you guys taking the time. If you really like it and you want more, you can join my Patreon. We have a few hundred members. They get membership, members only live shows, which I do once a week. Anything can happen in those live shows. We have some fun. Sometimes I teach. Who knows? It can go anywhere. And also you'll get into the Discord, which we talk 24/7 in there, especially about the stock market. So if you want into that, just go to the Patreon link. It's pinned on my X account. Get a free month to try it. If you don't like it, cancel. No big deal. If you like it, it's only $5 a month after that. Help support the channel. And if you're on Rumble or X, go in that description, click that Patreon link. Just look there, just hit that click, get your free month of Patreon and see if you like the members lives in the Discord. And if not, no harm done. Okay. All right, let's go through this a little more. Gas up 31% under Biden, down 9% under Trump, 32% airfare up, down 3%. That one is pretty astounding. It'll go down more the more gas goes down. Prescription drugs is a huge one. Trump actually getting it down. Remember when Biden tried to take credit for Trump's insulin thing? Trump got insulin way down in the first one. He got way down this first term, and then Biden came in and undid it. And then 2 years later, did the same thing Trump did and was like, look, we got insulin down. Such a jerk. Sporting events. That's kind of fun. 50% up under Biden. Who the heck was going to that many sporting events under Biden? That's insane. Down 9%. So that's a fun little graphic. But guys, listen, it's gonna get better. The big one, I know in my family, we're big beef eaters. That's a tough one because beef is insane. But I was just reading the other day how beef is on a 3-year cycle. And so the push to get cows back in America, I guess they were farting too much for the climate change guys, but the push to get them back really started at the beginning of the year. So it's not going to be till 2027 we really see those prices coming down in beef. So again, that's just an example of how some of these fixes take time. It's not going to happen immediately, and so you got the beef prices there. That's why he wanted to import Argentinian beef. It's not to take out the farmers. It's just to give us relief right away, Vince says, get rid of 20 million illegals. That'll drive down inflation and crime. 100%. We're already down 2.5 million. That's an incredible statistic, guys. He did most of that. Listen, ICE was underfunded. It was a miracle Trump got done what he did before the One Big Beautiful Bill passed. And then when the One Big Beautiful Bill passed, he got ICE funded permanently for the next 5-10 years. I don't know if it's 5 years or 10 years, but he got them permanently funded through that time, which means no government shutdown. Nothing can stop ICE from doing what they're doing. They're going to hire 100,000 new agents. Is it 100,000? It might be 10,000. Sorry, that's a misspeak. But, or maybe it might be 100,000. I can't remember, but it's a huge number. They're going to hire these people and 2.5 million are gone without those people even being trained up yet. without all that money being pushed out yet. The wall's being built, it's being finished. That was all completely funded. The ICE agents still aren't at full capacity yet. Many people are self-deporting because Trump offered them that deal. The H-1B visa thing is working so well that now companies are starting to sue the Trump administration to get their Indians back. Let's just be honest. That's all of them. They're all Indians. And if you're Indian, I'm sorry. If you're Indian American, you're a citizen. God bless you. I love you. You guys understand it's a problem too. Okay, that's not a racist thing. It's just that's where they come from. Just being honest. But listen, I mean, it's his $100,000 fee is so genius because it was able to jump around Congress. Because Congress is never going to fix it. They're all in the take. They're getting that money, man. The lobbyists are keeping them funded. The Republicans are starting to turn on Trump. They can't do it publicly. They thought they could. They thought and they were hoping to God that the Epstein stuff would turn out because they want to turn on him publicly. I'd say in the House, about 30% of Republicans are true MAGA. That's it, 30%. In the Senate, it's like 15%, maybe 10%. There's very few true blue MAGA senators and House members. It's disgusting. So all the rest of them cannot wait to go after Trump. They are chomping at the bit, but they can't do it right now because the popularity of Trump is more than the Republicans. Trump's approval is just shooting back up to 47% in some polls. It's up over 45% in the averages. He's moving back up. The Republicans are down in the 20s and 30s. They cannot win without him. So they're stuck. They know as soon as they challenge him publicly, they're screwed. They'll lose their place. And the only thing they care more about than their money is keeping their power. But do you notice about 20 Republicans are getting ready to retire? That tells you they're losing hope. The old GOP establishment's losing hope, which is a very good thing. But we got to keep pushing this stuff. Got to keep doing it. It's going to take time. Trump is fighting. Right now, the Democrats are pretty much thoroughly defeated. Nobody cares about them. They have no leadership. They're weak and pathetic. America hates them. The Quinnipiac poll just came out today, 18% approval for Democrats. They're not a threat. The threat right now is the uniparty that still exists within the Republican Party. They will gladly give power back to the Democrats in order to get rid of Trump and to just have things go back to the way they were. That is our biggest threat right now. So we have to realize that Republicans are the biggest issue right now. That's going to take some time. That's going to take some time to get rid of. It just is. It's a pain and it's miserable, but we will get there, but it's going to take time. And it's going to take, I heard somebody saying the other day who's been in elections for years and years and years, fighting elections, this old lady. And she said it'll take at least 3 more election cycles, which is, she's talking the 2-year cycles, so 26, 28, 30. She said it'll take at least 3 more cycles to fully get a MAGA Congress. So guys, I'm telling you, we gotta be patient. Trump can't do it all on his own. Forbidden Planet says cattle herds are at their lowest since the 50s. Exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. David, we mean more H-1 beef visas for the cows. Bring them over, baby. I love it. David says he's noticing prices already. Yeah, I am wondering. Like I've noticed there are some things that are more expensive or just as expensive. Like I was talking about beef, for example. But I'm noticing some things getting cheaper. I really am. It's not enough yet. It's not where we need it to be. And I just paid for my daughter for Christmas a $40 Barbie. And I was like, it was made in Indonesia. I was like, babe, that's a tariff Barbie right there. I get it. Some prices have gone up, but I'm going to pay for that Barbie once. I'm going to pay for beef every week, every day. Food is every day. So that stuff is what we really need to get down. That just takes time. It takes time, but I really feel like Trump's going to get us there. So on that note, guys, I see the chat's kind of drying up. I'm going to call it a night unless you guys have anything else. Listen, again, I really appreciate you guys. If you're watching on X, I'd love if you followed me, repost this, YouTube, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Rumble, same deal. Appreciate you guys for watching. Listen, if you're new to this channel, if you've never watched me before, I'll just tell you who I am real quick, okay? I go by Ace. I run this channel every night. We go through the news of the day. I use 20 plus years and insider knowledge from connections over the years to talk politics, to talk what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm a believer. I love Jesus, and I always come with hope. I really believe Trump is a godsend. In 2016, I was getting ready to vote for Marco Rubio in the primaries. And I thought Trump was funny, but I thought he was a joke. And I had I was having a prayer time, and I was writing in my journal, and I heard almost audibly, it was very strong, I heard, "Ask me anything." And I knew it was God. And I said, okay, who's going to be president? And I heard as clear as day, and I have it written in my journal, I've shown the group before, I heard Donald Trump will be president. He's going to usher in a golden age for America. And after that, I knew. I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense. But you know what? A lot of stuff God does doesn't make sense. Moses was a murderer. David was a rapist and a murderer. I mean, Paul, the great apostle, murdered hundreds of Christians. I mean, you cannot think that you know who God will use. You just don't. So, and ever since then, I've held on to that. And when 2020 happened, I was hugely disappointed, but I always knew that the job wasn't finished. He'd be back. And so I carry that forward. I got hope. I believe God's going to finish what he started. I do believe this messy, crazy, previously in most of his life, immoral man in many ways, is somehow the wrecking ball God's using to save America. Don't ask me to explain it. I can't, but I can tell you, I believe it. And so if you want that, if you like that perspective, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. I hope to see you guys soon. I do this show about 4 to 5 times a week, nightly lives, among other stuff. So again, so that's that. And I just see a lot of new people watching tonight on X. So I wanted to give you guys an idea of what you're watching. And what we do every night is we end in a prayer, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. I just pray a blessing over everybody watching, Lord, in Jesus' name. Just bless them where they're at. I bless their bodies, God, if they need healing. I bless their finances if they need help there, God. I bless their relationships if that's what they need. Just whatever it is, God, just be with them. Carry them through it, Lord, and give them peace in that area. I pray for our country, Lord, that you would bring peace, prosperity, and justice to our country, Lord, in ways we've never seen before. I pray for protection, wisdom, and boldness for President Trump and his entire team. You would lead them exactly where they need to go, give them the boldness to see it through, and keep them safe through all of it. And God, we just pray that this is done all the way through, whether it takes 3 years or 30, we see it through, and we leave a better country and world to our kids and our grandkids. The best is truly yet to come. I do believe that, and I thank you for that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, love you guys. Bless you. Thanks again for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You guys are the best. David, I'm going to try to get you unbanned. I'm going to see what I can do. So anyways, bless you guys. I will see you all back here tomorrow night.